Good morning, YouTube. So for the last 4 days, I've been using this phone, the iPhone 8, as my daily driver. I've actually been pleasantly surprised by this phone. Lots of people have said that this should have been called the 7S, not the 8, because it's not that different than the 7 that came out last year. I kind of thought that at first, but this phone hasn't been that boring to use. This has actually been more interesting than I expected. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the design. So, although it seems like it hasn't changed a lot since last year, I really dig this glass back. I think it looks excellent. So this iPhone is 2 millimeters thicker and 10 grams heavier than the iPhone 7. Obviously using it, I'm not really consciously noticing that it's heavier or that it's thicker. You definitely can't notice that it's thicker. But I do notice how dense it feels, and it feels so solid. It isn't as much of a fingerprint magnet as I thought it would be. It feels very good in the hand. It is easy to grip. I've been using it without a case. The glass back makes it easier to hold. It's grippier to hold. And of course, with the curves and all, these things are just great devices to hold in the hand. So I have no complaints there. Pretty happy with the design and how it's evolved since last year. The first main thing I was noticing as I started to use this phone is the screen. The screen is really good. Even though on paper the specs may have not changed a lot, it's still LCD, the resolution is the same, you can tell it has improved. The screen is so nice. It's perfectly bright. It is never oversaturated, yet the colors look really nice. It's crisp. It's a great screen. Like, it's amazing how much these screens have evolved over the last couple of years. But yeah, that is one thing that is fantastic about this phone. Amazing display. I'm also constantly noticing how good the touch response is. Everything happens instantly and you have to touch things so lightly. You can just lightly touch interface elements and they respond instantly. This is the most responsive device I've ever used. I love that Apple never stops improving that touch response and keeps working on it and setting the bar higher and higher every year. Something else I noticed was the stereo sound coming from the two speakers. Normally this is not a big deal for me. Who wants to listen to music from their phone? These speakers are so tiny. But I was truly impressed with how good the sound is coming out of the speakers. It's amazing what Apple has done to get such crisp, clear sound quality coming out of such small speakers. That has definitely improved over last year.
This is the way we do this. This is the way we do this.
Battery life has been pretty good, but I mean, I've only been using it 4 days. I haven't put many apps on it, so you would expect good battery life. The battery is actually 140 milliamp hours less than last year. It's a smaller battery, but because the processor is probably running more efficiently, the battery life is probably the same or maybe even just a little bit better. I've been able to go all day, no problem. And that was, I was getting like 20 hours of standby, and that's with using it pretty much constantly because I just got it. As far as charging goes, the first time I charged it with the wireless charger. It went from 40% to 100% in 2.5 hours. Not bad, but still kind of long. The second time I charged it with an iPad adapter. Then it went from 22% to 90% in 1 hour, which is really good. Like in many Android phones with that advertised fast charging, they say 50% in half an hour. I was able to get 42% in half an hour. That's almost close to fast charging. That was just with the iPad adapter. I haven't used it with the crappy 5-watt adapter that Apple ships with this. It'd be pretty slow with that, I imagine. The camera is fast. Opens immediately, snaps pictures quickly, and sets focus and exposure correctly. So very pleased with the camera. One thing, I wish that they added the dual cameras from the 8 Plus and the X onto this. That would have been a good upgrade for the smaller phone this year. They didn't do that. Maybe next year. Okay, so that's my early impressions with the iPhone 8. If you're getting this phone, don't feel like you're getting a boring phone. You're going to be very pleased with this. This is a very nice phone, nice display, nice camera, good battery life, just a good phone to have overall. It's crazy to think that this phone is going to be the default option for like hundreds of millions of people that don't even care about phones. They're going to get a phone this nice and this good. That is awesome. Okay, so that's my early impressions on the iPhone 8. If you like this video, please press the little like button there. If you have any questions or comments, Please let me know down below. If you want to watch more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.